There are places we thought were safe. There are places we've always believed to be safe, like a friend's apartment, a quiet stretch of highway, or even our very own identity. Why? But sometimes, that sense of peace is just a fragile mask hiding something horrifying, waiting just beyond the door, behind the wheel, or on the other side of your screen. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 true stories, experiences that started off innocent, but quickly turned into something out of a nightmare. These stories don't come from haunted houses or remote forests. They come from the places you thought were the safest. And if you're watching this late at night, make sure your doors are locked and that your phone is still in your hand, not someone else's. Story 1. He was in the closet, the guest no one invited. I was never the party type, but it was my last year of college, and I figured, why not try it once? When my friends invited me to Deltopia in Santa Barbara, UCSB's legendary beach party weekend, I decided to go. Just this once. We left campus Friday afternoon and drove over 2 hours to Isla Vista. There were 5 of us in one car, all over 6 feet tall, so the ride was tight. But everyone was excited. Hunter was driving, and his younger sister, a junior at UCSB, had offered to let us crash on her apartment floor. During Deltopia, just having a place to sleep was like winning the lottery. It took us nearly an hour to find parking. Eventually, Hunter used his killer smile to convince a sorority girl to give up her spot. Things seemed to be going smoothly. That night, we stayed in and hung out with Hunter's sister and her friends. Then Amir showed up. Amir was the kind of guy no one was really friends with, but he somehow drifted into every friend group, like he was invited. He'd caused problems for us before. Hunter had mentioned Amir might also be heading to Deltopia, but we had no plans to meet. Yet somehow, as we stepped out of a liquor store, there he was, standing on the sidewalk, like he'd been waiting. No one said anything. He just walked up and inserted himself into our group like he belonged. "Why do y'all look so surprised?" he said with this smug grin that immediately rubbed everyone the wrong way. No one answered. Back at the apartment, Amir sprinted ahead when Hunter reluctantly let him use the bathroom. When Hunter's sister opened the door, he looked at her and declared, "I'm staying here," before walking in without waiting for a response. Hunter was furious. He kicked Amir out, but Amir stood outside the door for nearly 20 minutes, begging, mumbling, refusing to leave. That's when we realized. Hunter had been unintentionally sharing his iPhone location with Amir through an old group chat. Amir had tracked us from the start, but it didn't end there. The next night, after everyone had passed out drunk, I suddenly woke up to the sound of breaking glass. Groggy and dazed, I stumbled toward the noise. The sliding door to the balcony had been shattered. A heavy rock sat in the middle of the floor, surrounded by glittering shards. I was about to wake the others when I saw the closet door handle slowly, gently, move. My chest tightened. I froze, clutching an empty liquor bottle. One thought hit me like a punch to the gut. Amir never left. He was in the closet. I almost opened the door, but something told me not to. I backed away and woke up Hunter. When we returned, the closet door was wide open. Amir was gone, but Hunter quietly stepped forward, reached inside, and pulled out a kitchen knife, nearly a foot long. If I had opened that door, I probably wouldn't be here telling you this. We called the police, but it was Deltopia. They just wrote a report. No prints, no cameras, no proof. When we checked Amir's social media, everything was gone. Every account deleted. Hunter tried texting him. Message failed. Blocked. All of us were blocked. It was like Amir vanished off the face of the earth. Story 2. The Highway Ghost, the Fake Cop. I used to be stationed at the military base in San Angelo, Texas. It was 1996. I had just finished basic training, 24 years old, wide-eyed and ready for whatever life had next. My two closest friends were Kay and Sebas. Kay was tough and quick-witted. Sebas was quiet, serious, the kind of guy who noticed everything. One early April afternoon, Sebas suggested we drive to Austin for a change of scenery. Kay drove us in her small SUV. About an hour into the trip, we hit a long, empty stretch of highway. Not a single car in sight. Then Sebas asked quietly, "Do either of you see that black SUV behind us?" I looked. A dark Tahoe or something similar, following from a short distance. Kay switched lanes. The SUV did too. Again, same result. Then, the red and blue lights came on. A chill ran through me. Kay pulled over. A man got out, not in a regular police uniform. He wore all black. There was a faint patch on his arm, but no badge, no name, no visible weapon. He didn't approach the window. He stood behind the car, scanning it, looking through the back window, at the license plate, at the bumper stickers, like he was choosing. Sebas knocked on the glass. "Is there a problem?" he asked. The man walked over to Kay's window. He asked for her ID. No explanation. He walked back to his SUV and disappeared for almost 10 minutes. Inside our car, the air felt thick, metallic. When he returned, he wasn't alone. Two more men stepped out with him. All three stood there, silently watching us. Then he asked Kay, "Was your father in the military?" Kay replied, "No, I am, and so are these two." In that instant, I saw his body tense. His eyes darted to the other two men. No one spoke. Then, all he said was, "Drive safe." He handed back the license and walked off. The black SUV sped away. We sat frozen in the car, speechless. Sebas said what we were all thinking. They weren't cops. If we weren't military, we wouldn't be alive right now. A week later, I was watching the news. A couple had been found murdered and dumped by the roadside, on that same stretch of highway. Their vehicle? A stolen black SUV. They weren't just robbers. They were hunters. That military sticker on Kay's rear window might have been the only thing that saved us. Story 3. Me, my double, and the gun under his jacket. About 10 years ago, I was driving solo from New Jersey to Fort Worth, Texas, visiting my parents after years apart. It was a long trip through empty roads, overgrown trees, and rare gas stations. I had no idea. I was being hunted. I think I was somewhere in Oklahoma, maybe Arkansas, when the car sputtered and stalled. I pulled over, popped the hood, even though I had no clue what I was doing. A white pickup truck pulled up, no front plate. A man got out, scruffy, greasy, hair unkempt. He walked over like he'd already decided I was the one. No questions, no hesitation. He leaned into the engine. I explained what happened. He muttered, "Probably needs a compression tester." I had no idea what that was, so I just nodded like an idiot. "I'll call my buddy to bring one," he said, pulling out his phone, then frowned. "Damn, phone's dead. Can I use yours?" Without thinking, I handed it over. That's when his other hand came out, holding a gun. "Sit down, don't be stupid," he said, voice calm, practiced, like he'd done this before. He searched me, took my wallet, my backpack, my phone, my iCloud password. Then he got in his truck and drove off. I didn't just lose my stuff, I lost myself. Over the next month, I started getting mail from unfamiliar banks. Someone had opened credit cards, bought electronics, even got medical treatment in Georgia, all under my name. He hadn't robbed me for money. He wanted to be me. It took months of police reports, credit freezes, and endless calls to recover. But the fake bills, medical records, addresses, They kept coming. Then one day I saw a Craigslist ad selling power tools, the same ones purchased under my name. I posed as a buyer and called the Jackson, Tennessee police. When the man showed up and saw the cruisers, he bolted, crashed into a ditch, got arrested. Turns out it wasn't just him. It was a group of 3. They ambushed travelers, stole their identities, and lived as them. They were caught. But I know, if I hadn't kept my cool that day, I wouldn't be here to tell you this. 3 stories, 1 warning. You never really know who you can trust or where is truly safe. Sometimes, the scariest thing isn't a ghost. It's a living person trying to live your life. If you've ever experienced something that sent chills down your spine, share it below. Because who knows, your story might be the next nightmare told right here.